Hi. Before going to video, please subscribe to my channel for more interesting stuff.
Story from r/ghost stories. Posted by u/Macy_Mellow. I thought it was the house, but it's me. Hello everyone. I'm new on Reddit and English isn't my mother tongue. So, forgive me if I make mistakes. I've discovered this topic and I would like to share my experience, especially because my friends are tired to listen always the same kind of story. In my life I have had several paranormal experiences, but, don't worry, I'm going to tell you only the most interesting ones. First of all, a little background. It's all started when I was a child. There was a spot in my house that scared me. It was right before my bedroom's door. It is a simply wood door with an opaque glass. Remember this, it will be important later. Every night my mother always left my door opened and I've always waited until she was asleep before closing it. Still, the open doors cringed me. Years later, I was in my bedroom, watching TV shows. The TV is near the door, and I was all alone at home, a very small house. Suddenly something caught my attention and, through the door's glass, I saw a shadow that walked very slowly, so much that I can see perfectly its profile, the chin, the body, all of it. It was right in the spot of the house that always scared me. Later, I was in the same room and I was recording something on my phone. I played the recording for a check and I felt freeze on my spine when I heard a creepy sound overhung the music. It was like an interference. I listened it one more time and finally I understood what it was. A voice was saying, "Help me." Needless to say, I was terrified. It happened when I was a teenager. Unfortunately, I've lost the phone with the recording. One day I was walking in front of my grandmother's house. She lives in the ground floor flat. I live at the middle floor, while my uncle on the floor above. When I heard clearly, someone called me out. At first, I ignored it, deciding to keep walking. When I arrived at home, the thought of that voice was tormenting me. I started to think that maybe my grandma was fallen and she had tried to call for help. Therefore, I came back and she was fine. She was just watching the TV. When I was there, I smelt the gas from the door. She had left the stove opened. She lost the sense of smell when she got old. I was so sure that someone had called me. Thanks to that voice I have had the chance to save not only my grandma but, potentially, my entire family from a gas leak. But, I can't say that it wasn't creepy. For these events, I was quite sure my house was haunted. When I moved for college, I was certain that those creepy things were finished and that I could let them behind me. Guys, I was so wrong. I thought it was the house. Now I think it's me. Let me know if someone wants to know more of my strange story. Story from r/ghost stories. Posted by u/LostLittleLambs. There might be a ghost in this house. If there isn't, I'm in trouble. Over the past year or so, I've been noticing these strange happenings. At first, it was the normal ghost stuff that a lot of people probably see and hear. Strange sounds and whispered words, shadows moving across the rooms and hallways, that kind of thing. It was rare nonetheless. The usual happenings were the norm a few years after we moved in. That kind of stuff that you notice and think it's just in my head, I'm just getting sick, etc. Whatever was messing with me got more aggressive. This first experience isn't really scary, but strange. I was in my room and on my phone, but to my knowledge there were no other noises in the house. My baby brother was asleep and my dad was upstairs, keeping quiet of course, because the baby's room is also upstairs. This may sound strange, but I don't actually have a door. We're a family of 5 in a 3-bedroom house, so I decided to take over the downstairs living room. I bought 2 red tablecloths and stapled them to the ceiling. It's not a great door, but at least I know my mom won't stare at me every night while I'm sleeping. I heard a thump against that curtain, and there was a large indent on it when I looked. I just kind of watched the curtain settle back and realized that I didn't see a bug. The indent was on my side of the curtain. Perhaps one of my dead birds turned into a ghost and flew into the curtain? That was Startail's favorite place in my room. The last thing I'll talk about is regarding my front door. For context, I do live in a somewhat crime-popular area. There's this broken black recliner that I basically own at this point, and it's right next to the yellow textured glass window that faces toward the side of the front porch, and most importantly the door. This is where things get downright terrifying. For me, at least. I was sitting on that recliner and tasked with babysitting while my parents went shopping. Lucky for me, he was already taking a nap. So I spent a while on Twitter until I heard a faint click beside me. My first instinct was to look through the window. You aren't able to make out specific shapes through textured glass of course, but any shifting or new color is easy to spot. And I saw nothing. The door's bolt lock was unlocked. That's what the clicking was, but like some dumb horror movie lady, I just locked it and thought it must have been left unlocked when my parents left. But then it happened again a few minutes later. Again, I didn't see any shadow or shifting. So I locked it again, kept a hawk's eye on the window, and had 911 dialed on my phone. Yes, I thought someone was trying to break in somehow. But there is no way anyone more than 2 feet tall can keep themselves away from the window. You have to pass it in order to get to the door, and as I'm sitting on the recliner right now, you can definitely see the window without having to look at it directly. I should note that I have no idea what the history behind this house is. All I know is that it's a duplex and somewhat old looking. I was only a kid when my family moved in, so I didn't really think to ask those questions. It might also be important that I address what I know has died here. I am a bird owner, and I moved in with birds. To this day, 2 of them have died. I've also regrettably caught a few mice in sticky traps. Furthermore, I don't know how ghosts work. I'm only posting this now because my mom woke me up to tell me that the door had a crack in the frame and was slightly open. Either there's a malicious ghost that can somehow touch real object, a very crafty robber, or both. I'm too shaken to really explain this away. If I ever find out that this isn't actually a haunting, I will take down this post myself. But for right now, an angry ghost seems to be the most plausible answer. Story from r/ghost stories. Posted by u/holyswapiga. Dark shadow figure at doorway. Dark shadow figure at night. Okay, this is a true paranormal experience I had in my life. This happened to me about 7 years ago when I was living downstairs in my parents' basement. I was 22 at the time. Downstairs there are 3 rooms and a hallway. I slept in one of those rooms, and when I slept I always closed my bedroom door for the night. I always did this because otherwise my dogs would walk into my room and wake me up or start making noise when I was trying to sleep. So with that said, I went to bed like normal with door closed and lights off. At approximately 2 a.m. I woke up, and by woke up I mean that phase when you wake up and you are still groggy, so not really wide awake. I woke up in that state and noticed my door wide open with the hallway light on and a dark figure standing in the doorway. I thought it was my father and wasn't scared and did not feel threatened or spooked out. The dark figure began walking towards me with the hallway light shining on him. I could not discern anything except it was the shape of a man with black features. The face was not discernible, it looked just like a shadow. As the figure was making its way towards me, I began to sit up in bed slightly because again I thought it was my dad. The figure made its way to me and stood directly beside me. The figure's head looked down towards me and in the same motion put both its hands on my chest. I could feel its hands on me, and in one swift motion it pushed with some force into my chest. As the figure pushed my chest towards my bed, I felt my back hit the bottom of my bed frame. I slept on a water bed at the time. After the figure did that, it took its hands off me and I immediately sat up and flipped my lamp on. Once I did that, the figure was instantly gone. I thought at first it must have been a dream. But I noticed my bedroom door was wide open. I checked upstairs where my parents slept and noticed both my mom and dad in deep sleep. I obviously did not sleep that night and I have never encountered or seen the figure again. I still to this day did not know what it was and never felt any malevolence from it. I just know I asked everyone living with me at the time if they saw or heard anything and no one had. Any theories as to what the figure was? I still get spooked out talking about that experience to this day, and even typing this I am getting goosebumps. Story from r/ghost stories. Posted by u/Lily the Killer. The ghost girl that looks like my cousin. A couple of years ago, when I was like 4, I went to a funeral. It was a kind of normal day. I was there with my mom, my sister, my aunt, I'm pretty sure my brother, and some cousins and a bunch of people I didn't know. And I didn't see much black on people's clothing, so that was kind of weird in its own way. And my one cousin was there. She was wearing an orange shirt, an orange headband kinda like the ones you get at Erdeen's, with her hair up, and she was wearing black leggings, I think. So after the funeral, me, my mom, my sister, my aunt and possibly my brother, I forgot, we were driving by the cemetery. I saw a girl, she was sitting down next to a tree, and what was weird is that she looked like my cousin, same clothing and everything. It's just, her eyes were full on white, and when I motioned to the girl but no one expect me saw her. And a few weeks later we found out an girl went missing in a cornfield, and there isn't a cornfield too far from where I live. So I don't know, if you guys know and or went through something like my experience, please let me know.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.